In December 2005, in Tokyo, an employee typed a few numbers into the computer. It was a simple mistake, the kind anyone could make. But those numbers he swapped cost 47 billion yen, $340 million. How can a simple typo destroy a company and shake an entire country's confidence in financial markets? It was a regular Thursday in Tokyo's financial district of Marunouchi. Mirror-like skyscrapers reflected the winter sun as thousands of employees headed to their offices. On the 20th floor of one of those buildings, at Mizuho Securities headquarters, one of Japan's largest brokerages, an employee was preparing to carry out a routine trade. The operation was simple: sell one share of the company JCOM for 610,000 yen. The employee opened the Tokyo Stock Exchange system and began typing the numbers. But something went wrong. Maybe it was fatigue, maybe haste, maybe just a slip of the fingers on the keyboard. Instead of typing one share for 610,000 yuan, he inverted the values, 610,000 shares for 1 yuan each. The computer tried to warn him. The Tokyo Stock Exchange system, located in the financial heart of Tokyo, in Nihonbashi, began issuing alerts. Messages popped up on the screen. Unusual order detected. Check the values. Confirm the trade. They were electronic screams, saying something was very wrong. But the employee ignored the alerts. Perhaps he thought they were routine system warnings. Perhaps he trusted his own experience too much. Perhaps he simply didn't grasp the magnitude of what was about to happen. He confirmed the order. At 9:27 a.m. local Tokyo time, the order was executed. 610,000 shares of JCOM went up for sale at just 1 yen each. The market reacted instantly. It was like offering diamonds at the price of gravel. And here we reach the first moment you need to understand. When such a mistake happens in financial markets, there's no way to undo it. Numbers began flashing on Mizuho Securities screens. Buyers worldwide pounced on the impossible opportunity. Shares worth hundreds of thousands of yen being sold for practically nothing. In Tokyo, in London, in New York, traders woke up to what looked like the deal of the century. 1 minute and 25 seconds. That's how long it took for someone to realize something was terribly wrong. But a minute in the financial markets is like an eternity. Thousands of trades had already been executed. The damage was done. Mizuho's team panicked. They tried 3 times to cancel the order through the TSE's system interfaces. The first attempt failed. The second too. The third as well. The system simply didn't respond. It was like trying to stop a moving train with your bare hands. Why didn't it work? The answer lay in a cruel detail of timing. It was JCOM's first day of listing. The automatic price control mechanisms the systems meant to detect absurd trades weren't yet calibrated for that specific stock. Meanwhile, across the Pacific Ocean, on Wall Street in New York, American traders woke up to discover that something extraordinary was happening on the Japanese exchange. The time difference created a unique situation. While Tokyo was in panic, the rest of the world was just beginning to notice the opportunity. Mizuho was trapped in a financial nightmare. They had sold 610,000 shares for 1 yen each, but each share was actually worth hundreds of thousands of yen on the real market. To cover the loss, they would have to buy back those shares at market prices. Imagine you accidentally sold your car for $1, but now you had to buy another identical car at its real market price. Multiply that by 610,000 times. The result was a 40.7 billion yen loss. At the time's exchange rate, $340 million. To put it into perspective, it was more than the annual GDP of entire countries. Enough money to buy dozens of companies. The kind of loss that topples corporate governments and shakes investor confidence worldwide. Mizuho didn't accept the loss passively. In 2006, the company filed a lawsuit against the Tokyo Stock Exchange itself, demanding compensation of 41.5 billion yen. The argument was simple. The exchange system should have blocked such an absurd trade. In Tokyo courts, lawyers battled for months over a fundamental question: who is responsible when human error meets systemic failure? Mizuho argued that the safety systems had failed. The TSE countered that the responsibility lay entirely with the brokerage. The trial dragged on for years, creating an important legal precedent for financial markets worldwide. Each hearing was closely followed by regulators from London, New York, Hong Kong, and other global financial centers. But the real trial didn't happen in court. It happened in public opinion, in investor confidence, and in the reputation of the Japanese market as a whole. The Mizuho case became mandatory study material in business schools around the world. From Harvard in the United States to the London School of Economics in England, professors used the case to teach risk management and internal controls. The term fat finger error gained international notoriety. Wall Street began implementing new safety systems. The City of London revised its protocols. Stock exchanges in emerging markets, from Brazil to India, created mechanisms to detect anomalous orders. Japan, a country known for precision and advanced technology, had to swallow the humiliation of being the stage for the biggest typo in financial history. Confidence in Japanese markets was shaken for years. Foreign investors began questioning whether Tokyo's systems were truly safe. The Financial Services Agency, Japan's regulatory body, was forced to implement drastic changes: new training programs, stricter alert systems, automatic limits on atypical trades, all to ensure that something like this would never happen again. But perhaps the deepest lesson was cultural. The case exposed a problem that goes far beyond numbers and systems: the issue of hierarchy and responsibility in Japanese companies. The employee ignored the system's alerts. Why? Maybe because he was used to receiving too many unnecessary warnings. Maybe because he didn't want to admit uncertainty before his superiors. Maybe because corporate culture didn't encourage questioning or asking for help in moments of doubt. Japanese companies began rethinking their hierarchical structures. How to create an environment where employees feel safe asking questions. How to balance operational efficiency with systemic safety. How to turn system alerts into effective communication. The case became a symbol that even in the most disciplined and organized cultures, the human factor remains unpredictable, and that systems should be designed not for perfect people, but for real people, with their limitations and flaws. Years later, the impact of the Mizuho case still reverberates through global financial markets. Regulators in various countries implemented new rules inspired by that December 2005 mistake. Circuit breakers mechanisms that halt trading when abnormal movements are detected became a global standard. Order validation systems were improved. Automatic limits for atypical trades became a regulatory requirement. The Tokyo Stock Exchange itself underwent a complete overhaul of its systems. It invested billions of yen in technology and safety procedures. Entire departments were created to monitor suspicious trades in real time. But perhaps the most important change was philosophical: the acceptance that financial systems must be designed to fail safely, not to never fail. Chapter 9: The Irony of Progress. Today, with artificial intelligence algorithms and high-frequency systems, financial markets are more automated than ever. Trades that took minutes in 2005 now happen in microseconds. Technology has evolved exponentially, but new types of errors have emerged. Flash crashes caused by faulty algorithms. Mass trades executed by automated systems without proper human oversight. The very technology meant to prevent human errors created new categories of systemic failures. The Mizuho case became a reminder that no matter how advanced technology gets, there will always be a human element in the equation. And that element, with all its imperfections, remains both the greatest strength and the greatest vulnerability of any system. Paradoxically, a mistake caused by a human being led to greater market automation, which in turn created new types of problems that can only be solved by human beings.